Alright.
I'm gone.
Let's see if we can ask somebody about getting him that sense orb. Because I do feel conflicted about the fact that it's essentially lying to him. It still can give him some kind of closure seeing his daughter in any amount again. And that's probably better than the truth. For him. There is a man, Ianus, who I was hoping you would grant temporary access to the private sensorium. And for what reason would we allow such a thing? Because one of the stones there contains a fragment of his daughter's experiences. She died far from home, not having seen him in a long while, and he mourns her loss deeply.
Updated my journal.
Splinter nods, thinks for a moment, then nods again. Yes, we shall allow this Ianus to enter the private sensorium. Well escorted, of course. You may tell him he has permission. My thanks. That was easy. Ain't even needed to do a thing. This is the wrong building. Do not trust your memory. It's a dickhead.
I'm gone.
You see Ianus. He turns as you enter, and his eyes light up, hopefully. Ah, at last! Were you able to convince them to grant me access to their sensorium? Yes, they agreed to give you access to your daughter's sensory stone. Thank you, good sir, thank you. I am in your debt. It is no trouble, Ianus. Please, go see the experiences of your daughter. I think they might ease your troubles.
Updated my journal.
I don't know if that's what they'll do, but go ahead. Anyway, if you're wondering why I didn't put this ring on, it's because I was worried it would trigger a memory, and I wanted to not do that episode, because we're about to run out of time, so now let's put it on. Who needs a traveler's ring? Probably one of the melee people. You're a melee person that doesn't have the traveler's ring. There we go. 2 separate +1 AC rings. One of them more gimmicky than the other one. In fact, I have a variety of bonus AC rings for different purposes. Just double checking that they all work. Okay. There we go. Cheese. These goofy ass items from all the way back then. Will I ever use the tomb plans? Strahn's diary. That's from the way back before, isn't it? Okay, so this goes in that type of slot. Still wondering about Phenom's book. Like, I know where Phenom is, I got his book. I think he might even be looking for his book. Don't know how to give it to him. Anyway, this does not seem like putting this ring on triggered a memory. Which is surprising, because it's inscribed with the feelings of the other, so I thought I was supposed to, like, literally cause feelings to happen to me. So I thought a memory was gonna happen. Oh, he frowns when he looks at me now. I thought we were in a better situation than that.
Done.
Okay. Maybe I come back later, or maybe you never experience the aftermath of this. I was just kind of thinking I'd see the after, but maybe I need to rest, or maybe I need to go to, maybe I even need to see him in the sensate place.
Ballard, also known as Wanker City.
Wanker City.
Done.
Now I'm here to see. Boop. If there's dialogue to be had, because I now actually have some other memory experiences from her.
My love, you have returned to me. Can it be that your memories have returned? I shall wait for you in death's halls, my love.
None of the dialogue seems to have updated. You straight up ask her who you are, and then you're like, "Oh yes," like it's a lie if you say that. If you say that her name sounds familiar, that's a lie apparently. And I'm like, no, it's not. We definitely have had memories where we know what her name is now, so it's just not updating. There's no follow-up there. It's all purely for her father. Womp womp.
All right.
But anyway, that was only one of the orbs. It just did enough that I was like, okay, let's follow through on anything that comes of this first before I do other stuff. As I explore this place more deeply. The private sensorium. I don't think I've been to the public one either, though. Maybe I didn't finish exploring this place. Really having trouble interacting with that. The inscription around the base of this sensory stone indicates that it holds the experience week-long hunting trek across the forests of Arborea. You're standing in a circle of white tents deep in the woods somewhere. The trees around you are by far the largest you've ever seen. Suddenly, though, there's an odd prickling sensation in the back of your skull. Your surroundings melt into a colorless smear, then slowly resolve into what looks like the interior of a large gray sphere. Across from you stands a figure almost identical to yourself. His eyes flash in the half-darkness. A mad smile splits his features. I knew you'd come. Greetings. Oh, greetings, greetings. So good to see you, he sneers. I bid your murderous tongue be silent. That's right, murderous. Your pretend innocence is laughable. Who are you? Oh, don't you know? Didn't all those filthy, lying, thrice-be-damned journals tell you who I am? Those journals that were so conveniently left for me when I awoke. Those journals that called me an incarnation. Ha! Burned them all, I did. All that I found. Huh. So once again, it seems like we keep encountering ourselves here. But this is a version of us that received these journals that are supposed to give us instruction about what to do and who we are and so on. Which is what we've been seeking all game. And this person had the journals but rejected them. We were supposed to follow the journal when we woke up, but instead we didn't have one this time. And this person's like, who the fuck are you to say who I am? Call me an incarnation. Like I'm just one of many people and I don't matter. As these sequences. What did they say exactly? They spoke lies, 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 and nothing more. Filth about a man who forgets himself, other incarnations, of preserving their existence in writing so that later lives could benefit. Thieves. It's my life. Mine. You all want to steal my body and you won't have it. So I'm talking to myself literally here, but I'm talking to the memory version of my, like, I don't think he can talk to himself in person, but I'm inhabiting the memory person, talking to the person that was the past me. Like, I guess in, like, Assassin's Creed logic. So, you're one of my earlier incarnations? He crosses his arms and looks away. If you'd put stock in such trash, yes. What did those lying journals say? They spoke lies. Oh, thieves, okay. Where am I? Oh, this? He gestures around him, snickering. Just a little trap is all. I realize that killing you body thieves might not be enough. I must have to trap you, ensnare you for eternity. You may have realized by now there's no way out of this sensory stone. Oh. Wait. This isn't a memory? This is literally this. He really is trapping me in the sensory stone, like some kind of. He placed a memory that was itself like a trap in its own somehow. This is hard to articulate. Your mind is locked here. You'll note the rather sparse surroundings I've left for you, all to help the madness set in good and quick while your flesh rots away. He chuckles evilly. I have some questions then. Your early incarnation crosses his arms and looks away indignantly. Save for a few more tufts of hair on his head, he's identical to you. Even his arms have most of the tattoos yours do. How did you make the strap? Can't tell you that. It'll never be replicated. The magics used in its creation were lost, even to me. Clever it is, though, one experience hidden beneath the other, so that no flesh but my own would set it off. So there are actually two sensations within this stone. Yes, that of the Arborean hunting trip and that of this trap. He looks suddenly wary of you. Why? Try and force your way into the other sensation through sheer willpower. What? What are you doing? Stop that! Continue to force your way into the other sensation. You at last put yourself into the surface experience, the Arborean hunt, and end the sensation before being pulled back into the trap. I left a trap for myself with super magic, but my willpower, I guess my wisdom is so strong I could just be like, and just escape. Well. More easily conquered than expected. The sickly green stone is securely fastened to the pedestal it rests on. The inscription beneath it reads, "The Messenger." As you touch the stone, its green exterior sharpens, clashing, its brightness becoming more than you can bear. So much so that you close your eyes to shut it out. Close your eyes, submerge into the experience. As you close your eyes, you feel the skin along your arms begin to numb, as if all sensation is being bled from them. Tired. So tired. You try and blink, yet the darkness remains. Your lids feel soft and sluggish, unresponsive. You are sitting on what feels to be a dirt floor, and around you is the smell of coppery blood and herbs. Why are you here? You came here to... What? Your memory fails you, but you feel a growing panic beginning to well up within you. Try and get your bearings. Ah, awake now, are you? A questioning all a done? The voice is an old woman's, thick and scratchy, as if it is trying to force its way past a thick layer of dust. Try as you might, you cannot open your eyes and see the woman, but you feel a shiver of fear. Something is wrong. Terribly wrong. You try to respond, but all you can manage is a ragged croak. You can't feel your tongue. And your eyes. What's wrong with your eyes? I think we've been like taken apart. Since apparently that's just how things go. I also think this might be Ravel. Now, a see me you did. A spoke you did, and poorly. So the price you have paid, The crone sounds amused. Then her tone drops sharply. No more of your questions. Now you will listen, and you will remember my words, for in minding me, you shall live. She hisses. Nod if you hear me, or another bit shall I take. Yep, I've been taken apart. Nod. Remember me, traveler. Remember me to a stone, one of the pretty glimmers in your festive hall. Use it like a cup. Pour what you feel into it. And know this, remember me to a man who wears a skin of scars and tattoos, who seeks memories, but has misplaced them. If smart he is, he will know the knowing of me. Tell him to find me. Or if I am not to be found, tell him to come to the Glimmerstone, and we shall speak. My precious man and I. The woman pauses, then hisses again. Nod, if you hear me, ragged thing. Nod. Ah, pretty, polite to a listen so along. When he comes to the Glimmerstone, tell the man to speak my name. And your pain shall not have been in vain. The crone's voice trails off as if distracted. You try to speak again, but there is only a sick gurgling noise. What happened? Who is this person? Why are you? And you begin to feel yourself slip into unconsciousness. Ravel! Ravel, it is I!
Updated my journal.
There is silence. Ravel? Ah, my precious man. There is the slow shuffling of feet, and you feel a sharp pinprick in your left eye. You gasp, and suddenly, barely, you can see, with your one and only eye. You lie in a gray hut upon a dirty floor where blood, your bright red blood, has seeped into the surrounding gray dust. Your arms are gone, your legs have been hacked off at the knees, yet you feel numbed, and there is no pain, only fear. There was someone above you, someone looking down on you. Look up. As you look up through your bloody, blurred vision, you see a horrid, bluish-gray face, grinning with yellowed tusks. Ravel is pleased, a-wonderin' I was if this messenger would make it. For a week he was when his bits were placed on my plate. She holds up a talon in front of you, and impaled on the tip of it is an eyeball, the right one. Yet to the festive hall he returned, it seems, and our time together has he shared. And now you have come. Success. Ravel, I have many questions for you. The crone shakes her head, your blurred vision seeing 3 images at once. Her grayish hair is like brambles drifting down her shoulders. No, only time for answers does Ravel have. And she has no time to waste with your guess questions. Know this, and in knowing grow strong. You must find me, my precious man. But how? I do not know.
Updated my journal.
Shh! I am beyond knowing. In a lady's place. Now shh, and a listen to Ravel, for there is much you must do to find me. 3 things you must do. Find the door. Know the key. Then unlock the key. door. The door is not a finished thing, at least when I last gazed upon it. But in the passing of time, perhaps now, well wrought it is. Go to the place of forges and steel. Perhaps there you will find the door that takes one to me. Ravel, I know that the key is a piece of you, but I don't know how to find it. The key is of me, is it not? Not? Eh? The crone hisses as if trying to gather her thoughts, and your vision blurs again. No picture, is it? No tale, no stone, but the key is something of me. A labor of my own flesh and blood. Seek it. Lives it does. Am I not a labor of your flesh and blood? Like some kind of golem? When you say unlock the key, what do you mean? Knowing the key is not enough, so Ravel thinks. Knowing it and unlocking it. Two tasks that must be joined. For at times a thing knows not its nature, but you are no stranger to that. Ravel cackles a long, hideous cry that fills your ears with pain. Ravel, how am I talking to you if this is someone else's experience? Of stones and experiences and telling will Ravel do, but not the telling of how she speaks to you now. She speaks soothingly. Many are the branchings and twistings of Ravel, and many are her secrets. I need you, and I need you of knowing this. Farewell, Ravel. Return. I will give what help I can. Ravel gives a final smile, a horrible, yellow-fanged grin. A blackish tongue darts from her lips and lingers at the edge, teasing. But in the end, only the one question remains. What do you mean, Ravel? Only one question. This I ask. Ravel's eyes blaze like fires, the red light turning her face blood red. What can change the nature of a man? At the question, you feel a tremor pass through, like thunder, and you feel yourself burn. Your vision clears until you are standing once again before the hideously green stone. It looks different than before, more horrid somehow. Well. Wow. I seem to have chosen the perfect moment in the narrative to join the Sensates, and I did not think this was how this was gonna go. I thought joining the Sensates was just a chance to, like, just like, you know, like factions in like Oblivion or something. Like, you know, like just their side stories where you just go through the guild and do whatever's up with them and get some side quest stories. This seems, mandatory. Maybe it's not, but the fact that this stone is Ravel specifically, who I just learned about, is like a lot. But I guess it was also like password gated, like I needed to know Ravel's name, otherwise that was just a grim story of being somebody who was tortured and torn apart for someone else's purposes. Specifically to talk to me. What's over here? Nothing. What's up with these, like, pockets of nothing that are here and there? That's strange. Well, that was distressing. That character suffered a horrible fate for reasons they'll never comprehend. Yep, that memory is still accessible. So one is a memory that's a trap laid by ourselves against ourselves. One is a chance to communicate with Ravel, some kind of version of her. And one is a memory of Dianara specifically. I'm imagining that these also have other memories for other people in some way, and that's just specifically what they happened to do for me, but wow. A lot going on there for me. Having them be 3 for 3 directly tied to my memory, my experience is a lot. The public sensor. Yeah, I've never been here either. I must have missed one of the doors on the far right side of the screen. My bad.
All right.
Oh, these are the things, aren't they? This is an unusual greenish-yellow stone. It is securely fastened to the pedestal that it rests upon. Nothing. No memories? One's a different color. Violet.
I'm gone.
Are these only for depositing memories? Reddish orange. Violet. You're turning violet, Violet. It's not the right voice at all because it was the dad. That's not some kid. Lady Thorncomb. Oh, this is a big room. Why is this one so big? Some sort of level of importance? Sir, can you get the actual fuck out of my way? You can't use any of these the way you could the other ones. Where did the lady go? Wow, they really can't just disappear into any of these rooms and just be gone, and they have to look for them very slowly. Lady Thorncomb. This comely, middle-aged woman is wandering around dreamily, absent-mindedly chewing on her thumbnail. Her eyes seem focused on nothing in particular. She is dressed in elegant yet disheveled finery, and her hair is slightly tousled. Greetings. She takes her thumb from her mouth, smoothing back a strand of hair that had fallen in front of her eyes. Very well, ask what you wish. She sounds apathetic. I had questions about you. As you begin to ask your questions, you realize she's not looking at you, let alone paying you any attention. Hello? I had a question. Very well, ask as you wish. I had questions about this place. Never mind, actually. She's not paying any attention at all. This man's gentle voice complements his calm and refined demeanor. Greetings. Are you here to use one of the sensory stones? Yes, I am. The man smiles and explains to you some of the various sensations that are currently available for your perusal. Which one of these suit you? Unavoidable pain will do. Good. The stone you shall want is the one in one of the smaller chambers. One room clockwise from the stairwell and in a greenish yellow in color. Are these all worth so I have to ask first before each one? Unavoidable pain. This can't be a good idea. The experience is a short and violent one, struggling with another slightly younger man at the edge of a blazing hot stream of molten lava. Your weapon hand is slowly, inexorably forced ever closer to the magma. Beads of sweat evaporate the instant they appear. The hair on the back of your hand blackens and smolders above the awesome heat. Finally, your howls of suffering echoing from the canyon walls around you. Your hand and the axe as it holds plunge into the lava and chars to ash in a few agonizing seconds. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. This is what I was going for, but why do I have to... Why is there an extra step? Tender love. I imagine they're all in order. Your eyes are closed. You can sense yourself standing on the tips of your toes, pressed against someone tightly. Soft, soft lips brush against yours, giving you the most gentle of kisses. Your heart seems to flutter in your chest, and you feel as if you could fall backwards and simply float off into space. Experience grinding via reading a paragraph at a time. Mind-numbing tedium. The thought that comes to mind when you tell me to do the same thing over and over again. Like now. Not that bad, but... The experience couldn't be more than a few minutes long, but hours seemed to pass. A long, boring lecture in the driest, dustiest hall in the University of Chalm and Sigil. You look about the vast hall, hoping to catch someone's eye to pull a face at, but the other students are either asleep or staring listlessly into space. You drop your quill pen, pick it up, and drop it again, just for something to do. You consider stabbing yourself in the eye with it just to see if your senses haven't been wholly numbed by the incredible boredom. Yeah, the hope is that I'll trigger other stuff with this, or if nothing else, we'll just get like, I don't know, 10,000 experience or something. Sheer wonder. Hesitantly, you open your mouth and take a shallow breath. The water flows into your lungs like cool air. You smile and take a deep breath, gawking in all directions as you slowly sink to the bottom of the harbor, where hundreds of colorful fish weave through the twisting tracks of brilliant coral. As your feet touch bottom, you peer up at the keel of your ship and laugh aloud with joy, stirring, a string of great bubbles shooting up toward the surface. That's somebody experiencing a underwater breathing spell in the ocean, which would be pretty wild. Consuming impatience. But ocean's scary, don't go there. You stand debating with Omnus the Horribly Slow, keeper of the Lion Key, as to whether or not your quest is important enough for him to relinquish the artifact into your care. The whole experience is an exercise in sheer torment. Each and every one of his words is followed by a significant pause. Each and every point he makes is reiterated time and time again before he lets you speak. You present an argument, then wait, and wait, and wait while he makes his counterpoint, to which you shoot out a snappy counterpoint of your own. Then must wait yet again for another of Omnus's drawling, meandering, seemingly endless counterpoints. It's everything you can do not to simply lop the fiend's tusked head off and snatch the key from the twitching corpse. For all we know, these are all my memories, because we've seemingly had infinite lives. Tired surrender. Shuddering, chattering, hoping beyond hope to be found, you curl into yourself beneath a blanket of snow to save what little warmth you have left. Fighting to keep your eyes open, to remain awake, you become aware that you can no longer feel your arms, your legs, the ice against your face, and tired, so tired, you at last resign to the inevitable. You close your eyes, bidding sleep a bitter welcome as the sense of loss forces a single tear, doomed to crystallize before it even reaches your cheek, from your aching eyes. Freezing to death. It's quite the thing to have to describe in detail. Supernatural lust. You find yourself coupling with a succubus, a creature of such intense, otherworldly beauty that even her fiend's horns and thrashing tail give you no pause. She gasps under you. You desire her so completely that the whole of your existence seems focused towards this single goal. As your life explodes from you in a starry burst, you hear the delighted laughter of the succubus as she drains you dry, leaving your body a soulless husk. What did you jizz out your feelings? Like, oh shit, my entire personality is gone because I just came that hard. Actually, are there others? Psychosis will do. Some of these seem like a bad idea. The stone you shall want is in one of the small chambers, one room clockwise from the stairwell. So their use has changed? The experience is a strange one, very disturbing. You've the point of a knife pressed to someone's throat, your hand clamped over their mouth, and breath hot and heavy in their face. You begin to stab them, slowly. The knife dimples their skin and eventually breaks it. There is the hot rush of blood over your forearm, the sound of strangled respiration, a horrible sense of perverted glee, and it is over. Freddy keeps doing the psychosis dream over and over again. I'm starting to worry about that guy. Festering jealousy. Yeah, we started over. We never reached the big rooms. You feel your lip curl as the fair-haired young hero, armor gleaming like a polished silver mirror, once again enters your tavern. Hanging his velvet cloak on a wall peg, he surveys your patrons with a pair of eyes like seed gems and a smile that sets the serving wenches swooning. You set the mug you're cleaning down and harumph loudly, thinking of what it'd be like to turn him upside down and shove him into a rain barrel. Sounds like you're speaking euphemistically. Sure want to bend that guy over. Like, okay. Unexpected ending to that feeling, but bitter loathing will do. I hope it's this one, because I didn't actually read. Pattern recognition. Long one. Venomous tears of pain brimming in your narrow yellow eyes, you gather the tattered remains of your small, scaled, red wings off the floor. You humbly back out of Groba's study, gritting your needle-like teeth beneath sealed lips. Sure, you're only a Spinagon, least among the devils, but that's no cause for a pit fiend to tear your wings off because he doesn't like the message you've brought him. What will your Galugan master do now? He certainly can't say anything to Groba, and what use is a Spinagon without its wings? You probably get cast into the pit of flame for incompetence. Vengeance out of the question, there's little to do but shake your clawed fist and hate Groba with all the loathing your hard little black devil's heart can muster. I'm taking it that the loss of wings is permanent then. Pure glee will do. Dancing and leaping about in rhythm with the wood elves' bouncing festival music, you and a dozen other dancers spin around the forest clearing like a whirling dervish, smiling and laughing like mad. As the cheering forest dwellers whoop, clap, and dance alongside you, fairies careen through the air above your heads, leaving sparkling trails of colored light. That one's just whee! The end. Frightening exhilaration will do. It seems like it's a second use of every room. You twist your head to look up at the large contraptions strapped to your back. A set of 4 bat-like wings extend out from it, each made of leather pulled taut over wicker frames. From the precipice you're perched upon, Dilgir's floating fortress appears as but a tiny speck suspended in the blue-gray sky, miles away across nothing but empty air. This is how everyone travels on the plane of air, they said. It's easy. You smirk, step back a ways, and make a running leap off the cliff into the cool wind below, leaving your stomach behind. All the wings suddenly catch the air. An amazing rush shudders through your entire body as you soar out over the nothingness towards the elemental prince's abode. I wonder what it's like if you're a species that can fly, and then you get to experience the exhilaration of somebody that can't fly getting to fly. Grim determination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting to lose my place a bit. The entire hall was in ruins, and still in the process of being destroyed. As dozens of combatants hurled weapons, deadly arcane magics, and themselves at one another in a desperate struggle to be the last one standing. Plumes of acrid green smoke rose from the pile of limp bodies as you dragged yourself out, having barely escaped the wrath of some fiendish spell. There it was, across the way. Through the battling throng, through the bloodthirsty battle ahead of you, sitting untouched on a miraculously upright table, your pint of mead. And you'd get it back if you had to kill every last one in the brawling tavern of these brawling tavern patrons to do it. Extremely dwarf. At this point, I'm just talking to the same person every time out of spite. Complete bafflement. Yeah, we did grim determination already. You awake from uneasy dreams to find yourself transformed in your dank lair into a rather small, four-limbed, fleshy thing. You're lying on your shell-less, as it were wholly unprotected, back. And when you lift your tiny head, unadorned with its usual sensory antenna, a little you can see your pinkish belly. And you lift your tiny head a little, I guess. Yeah, the inserts make it harder to read these sentences. Your pinkish belly, partly covered in soft, curling hairs, quite unlike the black bristles you're accustomed to seeing there. Your only two, legs now jut from the end of your torso, rather than from around your abdomen. They look thick and ungainly in proportion to your body, and lie there limply, making no attempt to right you on their own. Only by actively concentrating can you move the things. What has happened to you? Some sort of insectoid creature became a human, essentially, and has to deal with the weirdness of that. So basically what I had the right thought at the right time, where I was like, what, like, because we didn't have that exact thing, because we're not somebody that normally flies, but we did have the experience of having the description of what's normal be the abnormal. Funny that it comes up right after I thought that. It's like how often me and Stephanie ask a question and then immediately that's the thing that they're discussing next in Echo or something. Which isn't always remarkable. Sometimes it's a bit unknown, you're like, whoa, and other times you're like, well, yeah, it's because you're talking about it because it was just being discussed. Are there any more? The man nods, smiling, and explains the last of the presently available sensations. Oh my... lycanthropy. This is going to be the rest of this episode, apparently. Horrible regret will do. One of the larger chambers, 3 rooms counterclockwise. Alright, this is just the rest of this episode, apparently. Let's finish it. This reddish-orange stone is the one that the clerk directs you towards. Within it lies the experience horrible regret. You stand on the deck of your flagship, the Divine Hammer, as it floats over the continent of Agarheim, held aloft by the winds of magic. The very landscape roils and shudders beneath the bombardment of your fleet. 1,000 ships, cannons, and bombards hurling their sorcerous fire down like vengeful gods. The shockwaves begin to hit your ship only minutes ago. A constant vibration that sends shudders through the whole of the ancient craft and moves your very bones, accompanied by a constant rumbling bass. As if the land's mountains begin to sink and the seas that surround it begin to boil off into the atmosphere, your first officer comes to stand beside you. My Lord Admiral, permission to speak freely, sir? You nod your acquiescence, your stomach sinking as you guess at his question. My lord, forgive me, but how? What gives us the right? 1 billion lives. You speak without turning to him, unable to take your eyes of Rumos. Typo, okay. Unable to take your eyes off Rumos, the nation's vast capital city, as it vaporizes into a cloud of superheated gases 12 miles across and growing ever wider. If you only knew the full treachery of the Agorites, First Officer Felm. One which is beyond most any man's comprehension, then you would know. You would speak of our right to annihilate. You would speak of our right to annihilate them? We've no right to let them live. But sir, traitors? All of them? Surely among the hundreds of thousands, how many innocents? Silence. Speak of it no more. Our king has spoken. His will be done. The task set to us is a horrible one, not fit for contemplation or questioning. There is no room for pity, no room for remorse, only duty. The two of you stand silently for a time, watching the last minutes of Agarheim. At long last you sigh, a low, shuddering exultation that sounds as if something has broken inside of you. Beneath the brazen plate that covers the ruined half of your face, your dead eye begins to weep. Falm, my friend, I would have you understand. I know now, as I look down at what I have wrought here, that were I to think upon what I have done, what I have truly done, I would be struck mad. A deed such as this, the anguish would overwhelm, destroy me. So, First Officer Falm, it must be that there are no innocents in Agarheim. No mothers, no children, no people. Only traitors. Vile, cunning traitors who deserve no less than the full brunt of our most holy king's wrath. Do you understand this? Yes, my lord. Good. Now go. I wish to be alone here. By your command, Lord Admiral. Falm bows his head and returns below deck, leaving you to stand over the end of a civilization. That can't be good, that we have a similar memory in our own mind. That's not a good memory to have a similar one to. That's very bad. Because yeah, I was wondering if they're going to get to that. I'm like, there's no universe where any civilization of billions of people is all traitors. That's not how that works. Why don't presidents fight in wars? Why do they always send the poor? Some sort of leadership did some sort of bullshit, and the supposed treachery might not even be right, because in many cases the aggressor doing that kind of thing was already the civilization in the wrong in many cases, and is just justifying things and ordering people to do stuff. This menu sucks. Having to go 3 menus deep to get to the ones that are left is just a lot. Shock and arise to seething vengefulness will do. 2 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. That one. There's only 3 now. But this also has like 9 memories or something. This room turned out to be a whole thing. We always knew it'd be a whole library. I'm just shocked by how many they let me have. I mean, I might as well just keep doing them because they give me experience. Not a ton individually, but it's like... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 750 times 14, because there was... So we got 10,000 experience from the other thing. And then it's like 1,500, I want to say times 9. This will be worth 13... Alright, so 13,500. So overall we're getting like 24,000 experience from this. We've gotten more from individual quests, but it's still like a comparable amount to the extent where it's like, yeah, you should probably do this, as it turns out. And so we shall. But I keep hoping it'll also like stir a direct memory of our own too. Shock and arise to seething vengefulness. You stand somewhere in the nether regions of the plains, a sweltering place where the ground is beaten copper and the sky is of brass. Here, the bodies of sinners, petitioners in this horrid place, are rolled against iron brambles and bronze scorpions until their bones are fine, gray dust. You squint at the horizon, the bone dust rising with putrid-smelling gusts of wind that carry with them the sound of agonized moaning. There is nothing but flat, metallic landscape as far as the eye can see. The dust is everywhere, in everything. It stings at your eyes, coats the insides of your mouth with a pasty film. You spit, wiping at it with your fingers, but it's of no use. The stuff's taste has fouled your mouth completely. You look down at the key in your hand. A minute platinum orb. Picture the man's face who solemnly swore to you at the magical portal you just passed through. Now gone, of course, led to the green fields of Bytopia. Someone, by all the powers of their proxies, was going to pay for this one. The trust of portals and the idea that someone can just lie to you about which one. All right, we're gonna use this guy because he's the one that's actually accessible at this angle. Oops, I went backwards. Slowly dawning horror. I didn't actually listen to. I need to check in case, because they might not always go in the same pattern I expect, but maybe they will. How good could it be, you think, regarding the burgundy liquid carefully? Across the table from you, the twisted old man smiles slyly. Please, sir, try, he whispers, his hushed voice the sound of dry leaves blown over a roughly cobbled street. Thou shalt find it more than lives up to thy expectations, I am sure. You nod at him and lift the crystal goblet into the air, watching the light play through the crimson liquor. You'd come a long way for this drink, searched long and hard for this old man, and you'll be damned to let anything rush you now. The moment was to be savored. You raise the glass to your lips, inhaling the stuff's aroma. The bouquet is light, sweet, intoxicating, almost dizzyingly so. You've tried countless drinks, written tomes about them, their flavors and smells, means of manufacture, in your journeys across the plains. But this stuff was supposed to be legendary. No living man you'd found or heard of had tried the stuff. The stories were ridiculous. Nothing could taste quite so good, but if there were the slightest bit of truth to them, this would be some fine liquor indeed. At last, you drink the goblet. You drink of the goblet, a cautious sip. Incredible. Indescribable. As the flavor washes over your palate, you fight the urge to shudder with delight. Nothing you have tried in all your long years has tasted quite like this. You look up at the old man, startled to find your glass empty. You had drained it all in a single draught. You wipe your eyes with the back of your hand, not entirely sure when you had begun to cry. Tears of joy, eh? The old man laughed softly. Quite pleasing to the tongue, is it not? What's that like some more, perchance? He's not gonna let me, is he? It's gonna be the horror that I'll never experience it again. He smiles at you once more. Yes, if I might. Surely, he replies, refilling your glass. Try as you might, you cannot resist downing it in a single gulp. You thrust your fingers into the goblet and attempt to find some last hidden drop of the stuff. Several times more does he fill the goblet, and each time you gulp the stuff down as a starving man would devour a feast, unable to control yourself, to deny yourself another exquisite taste of it. He chuckles softly once more. A drink such as this? A man would do anything for it, no? You nod without hesitation. Yes, a man would. Looking at him, his sly smile suddenly takes a whole new meaning. A sense of horror begins to creep over you, even as you begin to yearn painfully for more of the blood-red liquor. Yes. The old man grins, his yellow eyes gleaming. A man wouldst do anything in the thrall of such a drink, even the most terrible and most heinous of deeds. As thou shalt see, my newest servant. You fucked up. Oh, that's a nightmare scenario. It's the equivalent of drugs on some level, I guess, but like magic nonsense stuff, where it's like life-endingly captivating. There's some fuckery happening in this room. These tiles are just a grid. But there's a root over them. These are wavy tiles. And then they get increasingly distorted as you go, or some of them are just kind of wavy, but these ones are like, look at this, these are not even. And that was pretty regular again, but I was looking at this one in particular while I was here, and like, this part of the room is straight, and then this part of the room is insane. Like, it makes you think that the whole room was warped somehow afterwards, because it would be so... it would be nuts to actually try to, like, craft that one tile at a time. They don't... like, they're all... most of them are unique tiles at that point. It's an actual nightmare. Welp.